What's up, everybody? It's Ryan, and I'm back with some more ParanorMAIL for you guys. This one was sent in to me by someone who has been a subscriber of mine for a while, and she had a very interesting encounter. Her name is Wendy, and she told me it was totally cool to use her name, and she thinks that more people should be stepping up and giving their encounters to, because these days things are different. Things are changing. Our paradigm is shifting. People are accepting that strange and unexplainable things are happening to people. And you'd be surprised because it's actually probably happened to the majority of people out there. We've all probably seen something that we can't quite grasp, that we can't explain, that isn't really normal. So I think most people understand that these things happen now. So it's not as taboo as it used to be. That being said, this is interesting because she's not the only person who has told me of something like this. This is an encounter that's been, the same type of thing has been described to me several times by several other people. And in fact, there was a section of Dave Paulides' newest Missing 411 movie, The Hunted, that was dedicated to someone who had this exact same type of sighting. I mean, like the exact same thing. They described it pretty much the exact same way. And this was very interesting to me because of all the people that have told me about this. And anyway, I'll just go ahead and get to it because it's really cool. So anyway, I'll start here. Okay, she says, "Hi, Ryan." And then we'll go to growing up, we camped. And I mean we were dropped off at our trailer set up at the beginning of summer and stayed until a week before school started. And every weekend that seasons would allow. Winter in Canada. Our site was up by Cold Lake in Alberta and is still called Whitefish Lake Resort, surrounded by forests, deciduous and coniferous, with indigenous lands all around and small pockets of water. Great for mushroom picking, which we did a lot. My uncle was literally a jack of all trades, and our setup was joined to my aunts and uncles. So I learned mushrooms, fishing, trees, survival, hiking from my uncle. My dad just participated sometimes. We usually headed up the hill northwest into the woods to find morels and red tops. I also picked wild tea, rose hips, and wild blueberries. I feel I was 9, but I have no concept of time, so it's hard to say for sure, but my actions seem more fitting to a younger age. Enough with the setup, here's the experience. It was spring. This I remember because we still had to wear warmer clothing. I headed out just after lunch to pick shrooms with Uncle, and we convinced Dad to join us. He agreed, begrudgingly I might add. We hiked to our first area and started looking. I would venture off to look at nature, or what have you, but never out of visual range from the men. This day, though, I don't know what happened. I feel I was chasing a butterfly or some interesting bug. Hence, I ventured too far and couldn't see the men. I hollered out, but got no response, and having no sense of direction even to this day, I got lost in the woods. It couldn't have been 5 minutes. It could have been 5 minutes or 30, but nonetheless, I was scared. I wandered, getting more lost until I found a log, sat down, and just cried. As I sat there feeling sorry for myself, I looked up, and through my tears and sobs, I saw something ahead of me, maybe about 3/4 the length of a Canadian football field away. Now nothing else mattered. Crying, being lost, nothing. Just identifying what I was seeing. I sat there, squinting, no more tears at this point, trying to see what it was. It was big, moving by a tree, but had no form. It was before Predator, but it visually looked like a cloaked predator, which wasn't made or seen by me until I was older. I sat for a bit, but then I got up to approach it to try to get a better look, as it was weird seeing the shimmeriness. Now, that the shimmeriness is something that that exact term has been used by other people who have told me about this. They said it looked shimmery, looked like something shimmering. And that has been said to me several times by those who have told me about the same type of experience. Okay. It's really interesting though that she used that term, because that's what they all said. So I just wanted to add that. Okay. As it was weird seeing the shimmeriness of this big thing. As I got closer, though, it would retreat the same distance, so I began to follow it. Nothing else mattered but seeing what this distortion was. And when I say big, I mean it was tall against the trees, taller than a walking bear or moose compared to a tree. I don't remember hearing anything, but I was on a mission to see this thing, so I just followed it through the woods. Now my mind evaporated once I noticed this thing, so no more looking or calling out to uncle and dad. All that mattered was it, and I followed. I took its exact path, and I noticed it would slow a bit and hang out by a tree if I lagged a bit, because if I stumbled or fell down, it would be stopped by a tree waiting. And when I regained my footing, it would start again. Anyway, after a while it was approaching a clearing in the woods. But when it did reach it, it vanished. I got to the clearing and there was nothing. And trust me, I looked in every direction. At about the same time I heard voices, so I snapped out of my mission and listened. I knew it was Dad and Uncle, so I went through the clearing and over some stuff, then saw them. I yelled back to them and then ran to my dad, whom I saw first. He did the usual dad and looked me over, asking where I went and what happened. Was I okay? I told him I got lost and sat down to cry, but that something, I described it to him, led me back, and he just said, "Good thing, 'cause your mom would have killed me." Then we continued our shroom hunt, but in a different area, like nothing happened. Thinking back, it was so strange that we didn't discuss it afterwards, because I had to have been lost for no less than 30 minutes. And my uncle didn't even say anything, like at all. After the incident, though, my dad, who never dismissed the paranormal but didn't profess its existence openly, started watching and reading Sasquatch stuff, UFO stuff, ghost stuff, you name it. That's pretty much it. So then she went to talk about also something at another campground up there, where she heard a fake bird call, and that's something and then something had hit the side of their camper and left a big print out there. So that's interesting too, which there's no doubt that that place is full of squatches. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We all know that. So that was very, very interesting though. I mean, this is something that I've heard, like I said, of quite a few times from other people. The shimmeriness, the predator looking thing. They have described it the exact same way. So in my opinion, there's got to be something to this. I mean, that many people aren't going to describe the same thing. And it's been described to other people I know. They've talked to other people who have seen this stuff too. and they've told me about it. So I know it happens a good bit. And the Predator had to be based on something. Every movie has to be based on something. Every story, I mean. So anyway, that was what I had for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think about it. And she's got another story that involves a UFO that I'm hoping she'll send to me sometime. So Wendy, if you see this, get me that story, because I'm intrigued and I need UFO emails. So if anyone has anything they want me to share, just email it to me at paranormalrushhour@gmail.com, and I will be sure to share it, especially if you tell me you want me to. So I'll put that one at the top of the list. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And I appreciate everybody watching. And I'll be back with you guys really soon with some more ParanorMAIL, because they're coming in pretty regularly now. So I'm going to have some cool ones. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And I'll be back with you guys really, really soon. So until then, stay safe.